All right, let's talk about something pretty unsettling today. The systems that allow powerful people to operate completely in the shadows. And this isn't really about just one story. It's about a blueprint, a kind of guide for secrecy and influence that, honestly, anyone with enough power can use. So let's dive in.
And this is the big question, isn't it? The one we're really going to try and unpack here. It's a question that goes way beyond borders or industries or politics. We live in an age of nonstop information, so how on earth does so much stay hidden? Well, we're going to break down the mechanics of exactly how they pull it off.
So where do we even begin? Well, we start with a revelation that sent absolute shockwaves around the world. One that really forced a global conversation about power and what accountability truly means.
Now, you've probably heard of the Epstein files. It's basically this huge collection of documents and court cases that blew the lid off a massive network of influence and abuse. But for what we're talking about today, this isn't about one person. Think of it as a case study, a perfect, if disturbing, example of a much, much larger systemic problem.
And that's exactly what we're focusing on, the how. How are these systems of secrecy actually built? How are they so well protected? We're looking at the blueprint itself, the architecture of impunity that can be used by the powerful anywhere in the world.
Okay, so how is this blueprint actually put into practice? It all starts with building these incredibly intricate networks of power and secrecy, systems that are designed from the ground up to shield people from any real scrutiny.
You see, these mechanisms all work together, like layers of a fortress wall. It starts with cultivating these elite social networks. Then you bring in financial power to create dependency. Legal loopholes are exploited to block any challenges, media connections are used to kill stories, and by operating across different countries, well, that makes accountability almost impossible. It's a seriously multi-layered defense system.
When you boil it all down, it's really a three-step process for keeping secrets. Step 1, surround yourself with a circle of influential allies. Step 2, create a culture of silence where everyone is complicit. And Step 3, use your money and influence to weaponize the very systems, the legal system, the media, that are supposed to hold you accountable.
But here's the thing. These systems, no matter how powerful they seem, they're not unopposed. There's always a fight for justice, and it's being led by survivors who are facing just monumental obstacles in their struggle.
This quote, it just perfectly captures the heart of the struggle. For the survivors, the battle isn't just with one person. No, it's against the entire apparatus that was built to protect them. The whole network, the money, the high-powered lawyers, and all that media influence.
And this right here, this is that battle for accountability laid bare. On one side, you have all the systemic obstacles, the legal loopholes, a media that just looks away, financial intimidation, and political influence. But on the other side, you have some incredibly powerful tools for justice, the raw testimony of survivors, brave independent journalism, whistleblower leaks, and of course, public pressure. It is absolutely an uphill battle, but it's not an impossible one.
Which brings us to another critical piece of this whole puzzle, information warfare. Because if you can control what people see and hear, you can pretty much control their reality.
It's a simple idea, but it's incredibly profound. Hiding a damaging story or just discrediting the person who tells it, that can be just as effective as winning a court case. It's all about managing perception. And in the court of public opinion, perception is everything.
So how do you actually bury a story in today's 24/7 news cycle? Well, there's a playbook. Day 1, the damaging story comes out. By day 3, a flood of distractions gets launched. Counter-narratives, maybe some celebrity gossip, a totally unrelated political scandal. By day 5, the major media outlets have moved on. And within a week, poof, the original critical story is gone. It's a deliberate strategy, and it is shockingly effective.
So, we've dissected this blueprint for secrecy. We've seen how it works. Where does that leave us? What are the real implications of knowing that these shadows exist?
Ultimately, shining a light on these systems leads to a fundamental demand, right? It's a call for real transparency in our institutions, for actual accountability, no matter how wealthy or connected somebody is, and for a standard of justice that applies equally to everyone, everywhere.
And in the end, this is the question that just lingers. After seeing the blueprint, after understanding these mechanisms of secrecy, you just have to ask yourself, what else don't we know? How many other truths are still out there just waiting to be brought into the light?